The Rise and Fall and Rise Again of the Watershed Awareness Program, a screencast reflection by Michel P. Anderson, Antioch University, New England, Connecting Communities, Autumn 2014. Before time began, a prelude. The watershed was. So I just wanted to give a quick overview of a watershed since it's the focus of my CSI. The concept of a watershed is a great means to define a community. 19th century geographer John Wesley Powell described a watershed as an area of land, a bound hydraulic system within which all living things are inextricably linked by their common watercourse and where, as humans settled, simple logic demanded that they become part of a community. Now that's a really good dictionary type definition, but to put it more humanly, a watershed is an array of landscapes teeming with a rich natural history that webs together microbial life, plants, insects, animals, and human beings. Also, I have to admit that since this is a reflection on all that, watersheds sort of terrify me a little bit. I've always had a dark fascination with drains, and things like brushing my teeth in the morning could be excruciatingly painful experiences. But a watershed kind of makes me feel like I'm standing on a drain, everywhere. More on that a little later. What's a community initiative good for anyways? The following preview has been approved for all audiences. In their book, Place and Community-Based Education, Gregory Smith and David Sobel state that, quote, one of the central aims of place and community-based education is the cultivation of the experience of connection, end quote. Too often, schools are isolated from the communities they're nested within. An educational community initiative seeks to remediate this problem by making school the centerpiece of community activism. We have learned during this semester that if given the opportunity, young people have the potential to advance society and improve the health of our communities in ways we can hardly foresee. We're at a point in our history that the capacity for human beings to solve complex problems and think creatively is fundamental to our survival. Furthermore, students tend to excel when they are able to find meaning in their studies and affect change in the world. And this is how I came to the thought that understanding the importance of watersheds may help us find solidarity with one another in the diverse life systems that we share the planet with. Watersheds are unique because they eclipse humanity's cultural, religious, and political differences by lying bare our shared reliance on water and its mysterious properties. Goethe once wrote, if we want to behold nature in a living way, we must follow her example and become as mobile and malleable as nature herself. And it was my thinking to bring this mobile malleability to my work as an educator. The Watershed Awareness Program, feature presentation. So here I am, slumped over my desk on a Halloween night, with ink and quill at the ready. I'm pondering the importance of community, while ghouls and ghosts rap impatiently on my door, causing a faint terror to bubble up inside of me. I continue down this line of thought, and eventually a unique combination of thoughts occur, and I have an idea. And I know at that point that I'm going to focus on the Chesapeake Bay watershed for my CSI project. So the first partnership that came to mind was with Blue Water Baltimore, and they came to my school last spring and did a stormwater audit with the students that went over really well. And then I was also thinking about this timber frame play mansion, and we actually rose that as a community back in 2012. So I started thinking about this elaborate plan to turn that playhouse into a stormwater collection system with a living roof and rain barrels, and that would allow us to do a fruit orchard out in the back. So I sent out a message to Blue Water Baltimore in late September. They replied to me. We went back and forth on emails with long stretches of time in between. I was feeling a little unconfident about whether or not they were going to be a really solid connection. So around this time, part of our assignment was to talk with one of our colleagues, and I gave Matt Arbolino a call out in Hanoi, Vietnam, and we had a great conversation where we were able to, vocalize some of the things that we were thinking, and I think it really helped us both to kind of break us out of our rigid thinking that we were doing about our CSIs. So with that, I was unafraid to rethink my initiative, and I explored the green blog that I keep for the school and came across how in World Water Day in 2013 we worked with the Baywise Master Gardeners. And that was a big aha moment for me because I am a Master Gardener, and just this September, amidst starting the school year and this grad program, I was also in advanced training to become a Baywise Master Gardener, and that I was kind of cursing myself for enrolling in at the time, but it proved to be a really great thing. So I, contacted the people in charge of the Baywise program there and gave them an idea, offered my idea for involving students in stormwater audits and doing community presentations, and they loved it. So they sent me their PowerPoint presentations that are filled with great slides, and they're going to be coming and doing a presentation with me to the students in the spring of this year. And that was great and all, but I still felt like something was missing. Like that stormwater collection playhouse project was really big, and I started to feel the pressure of everything. And I've learned that in grad school, you have to rely on this kind of idea that good things happen under pressure. And at that, I kind of kept searching around the internet, kind of just thinking about this issue, and I came across this image. And that really struck home for me, and it brought in all of my fears that I was speaking of earlier, and I just kind of dived down that rabbit hole, and I started exploring all of these really awesome muraling projects that have been done throughout cities all over the US and elsewhere. And serendipitously, at this time, I got an email back from Blue Water Baltimore, as you can see, in early November. And as it states in this email here, that she'll give me a call right now. And sure enough, she did, I think even before she hit send on that. And we ended up having a really great conversation that lasted about an hour, in which we talked about how we can work together to create a big project of doing storm drain murals throughout the Cold Spring neighborhood where my school is located. And she pointed me in the direction of their blog, and how that they are actually instrumental in doing these storm drains around the city, and how they use public venue spaces to offer muraling workshops. And now our school is going to be offering the workshops for the wider community, which benefits both organizations greatly. So in all, I'm really excited about moving forward and implementing the CSI, and I feel that it really it captures the methods of place and community-based education really nicely, because at its heart of it really attempts to hack at that great riddle of the self, which environmentalist and social critic Wendell Berry so eloquently said, "You can't know who you are until you know where you are." Thank you. All content was found in Creative Commons or used with regard to fair use statute of copyright law.